Now you're going to learn how to print the letters. Even though in the previous lesson we talked a little bit about that, now we're going to go a little bit further to actually printing a letter. And in this particular case, if you remember from the previous lesson, we left by having this marked and now and waiting to import some documents. So the documents could come from the portals, but I'm going to import them from a test images that I have here. So I have the driver's license. So that is an image. Import. And also I have here um, a fake sample of Social Security in PDF form. But it's much better that you do it with images because the PDF needs to respect some margins. And if or your client, so you should ask your client to do it as an image. Okay, so these two are going to be collated, right? Because I'm marking in here, you need to read this. Still, we're going to have another area, another lesson, where it's going to be the whole dispute center, where we're going to cover in detail everything, absolutely everything. So in this case, what we're trying to do is to so we're going to print the one that are checked. Okay, so print checked marked disputes. Okay, and I have different options here. Print all selected, that will be the one that I want. But again, you can read and select the one you want. So the one at the top should be the one. And now, once this is printed, okay, this button will appear in yellow, and then you will click on it to open. Actually, in my case, so only and in my case, it opened. It saved it to the hard drive. But this is something that I have. It's not related to you. So for you, it will open like this, or in a similar environment in your browser, essentially. And and here we have correction letter, the images collated, the social security, and and the driver's license. This one is the correction of personal information for Experian. This one is for TransUnion, and now with the corresponding images, and this one is the account freeze. In this case, for Innovis. Um, Again, this one is for check systems, as you can see, and so on and so forth. There are actually 39 pages with all the letters, so cannot be easier than that. It's printing everything, and then we will need to print the envelopes. I'm gonna do that as well. So I'm gonna click print the envelopes. So in this particular case, I need to, because if I click print envelopes, I'm going to print all the envelopes for everything that is selected. Okay. So I need to print the envelopes only for these ones. And this one, I've noticed that they became ignored. And the reason is because we don't want to post this into the portals. Okay. So it's not necessary. It's not a derogatory. It won't go to the portal. I mean, the personal information is not a derogatory. It's simply something that you need to do. It's a good practice. Okay. So we're going to have to change this in a moment to do in order to print the envelopes, because only envelopes prints the envelopes print if the status is to do or the status is in progress. So We're going to select all these first by clicking at the top of the column, and I'm going to select. So I will have all these. Normally you will print the envelopes, to be honest, first. In this case, and probably all cases, it will be fine as well. So I'm going to select, or the program is selecting now, the ones to with the check mark. And now I will go to change disputes, here to do, change selected. I could have done change marked before, but it doesn't matter. All those symbols and everything will be explained in depth in another lesson. Okay, so now we have it to do, and I can print the envelopes. Okay, so same thing, click print envelopes, and then I have show envelopes, same procedure, right? I have it right here. And as you can see, it has a thin line that you can fold and put this into a double window envelope. And it printed the envelopes that I needed. So I need 3 bureaus and then the rest for the secondary bureau. So it prints everything correctly. That's it. One click, you print them all. You want to save it in your hard drive for future use. It's possible also, obviously. You may have the bureaus only saved to your hard drive, so you can print whenever you want without having to reprint. So there are many ways, right, to skin a cat. And so that's that. And then, well, these ones, if we leave it like this, they're gonna be put into the portal. At least these 3. You don't want that because this is not a derogatory. But if you want to show your client, well, then yes, then you will put in progress, and you will put in progress for these 3. Well, let me change all of them to ignore first, just to make it faster. When you can do things faster, well, let's do it faster. So I'm changing to ignore, and then I will change these 3 to in progress. So they can post to the portal. So the client sees if that's what you want. Obviously, that's not what you want. So that after 21 days, you will process the next round, because you need to give time for this secondary bureau to receive this information. Now, if I leave this in progress like this, as opposed to ignore that it was, when I pull the next report, it's going to say deleted, because this is not a creditor, so it's going to say deleted. So you don't want that. So that's why ignore is better. I'm just telling you when and why you do things. We will explore this in really detail in a 1 or 2 videos later in the in-depth lessons. So I'm gonna put it ignore, I'm gonna put it ignore, and I'm gonna put it ignore. Okay, fine. So now, let's say, and again, that I'm going to, let's say that 21 days has have passed, and I want to dispute. I'm gonna put, instead of 15 per line, I'm gonna put whatever, 75. And now I'm going to select a few disputes, and just a few, so so it's easy to watch. On purpose, I'm not gonna do any collections, and the reason is that collection should be done differently. It should be disputed first with the creditor, and in order to do that and learn how to do it, you can show the icons, right? And then click the tips here in collections, and you'll have the tips here and how to do it, and a special video that explain how to do it, how to dispute with the creditor. Extremely easy with Credit Money Machine, but still you have it handy at your fingertips. Really, I'm gonna turn off the icons for convenience and to have the screen as clean as possible. So I'm gonna select just a few here, okay, for for our example. I'm marking them. I could select them, which is another thing that I could do, and print. If I select them, I can print, display, select them. Right now, I have selected more, of course. The ones ignored or on hold won't print anyway. But I'm gonna click print mark dispute. Despite that these ones are marked, won't print again because they have ignored. All right. So I'm gonna print that like it was around. And I'm doing that. I'm gonna show you why in a second in this lesson. So I'm gonna click again this print all selected. Print all selected. And so now it's only printing the ones that I marked. Okay. And I'm gonna do the same thing here. Okay. So now it printed. Notice that it collates the letter as it should. Da, 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 da. Okay. So everything here is fine. And those that I printed will be in progress. And that is the important thing right now, because in the next lesson, we're going to learn how to do the next round. So right now, we have this in progress that was printed this date, and it's going to be followed up this date. And if you want a different margin of days, you can change it as well in the follow-up. Okay, in the follow-up tab, you can change how many days to follow up. All right. So I'm gonna stop here. In our next lesson, we will learn essentially how to do the next round. Thank you.